If you've been told, let's use the lowest dose possible of estrogen, I want you to understand something important. That advice often keeps women sick, not protected, not optimized, just underdosed. Lowest possible, well, it sounds safe, it sounds cautious, it sounds responsible, but biology doesn't respond to intentions, it responds to signals. And weak signals don't fix broken systems. This video is for informational purposes only. It is not medical advice. Please talk with a qualified practitioner before starting or changing anything. The lowest possible dose mantra didn't come from physiology. It came from cancer fear. It came from the WHI fallout, from Premarin confusion, from litigation anxiety, and decades of estrogen demonetization. So instead of asking, what dose restores normal function, medicine started asking, what dose makes us feel less scared? Those are not the same thing. Estradiol isn't a supplement, it's a biologic signal. It tells tissues how to handle glucose, where to store fat, how to regulate inflammation, how to maintain blood vessels, how to protect the brain and the bones. And here's the key: if the signal is too weak, the body ignores it. Low dose estrogen often doesn't improve insulin sensitivity. It doesn't reduce visceral fat. It doesn't lower inflammation. And it doesn't stabilize metabolism. So women are told you're on estrogen, but their biology never actually receives the message. This is where a lot of women get stuck. Not zero estrogen, not enough estrogen, just enough to suppress symptoms slightly, mask the real problem, give false reassurance, but not enough to reverse insulin resistance, not enough to protect cardiovascular health, not enough to reduce long term disease risk. This is the worst place to live hormonally because women think, I'm doing something, but the biology hasn't changed. When estradiol reaches physiological levels, insulin sensitivity improves, visceral fat decreases, lipids improve, inflammation drops, cardiovascular risk declines. When estradiol stays too low, cortisol dominates, insulin stays elevated, fat stays locked, disease risk continues silently. This isn't about more is better, it's about enough matters. Here's the irony: the fear of estrogen leads to underdosing, and underdosing leads to persistent insulin resistance, ongoing inflammation, continued visceral fat, higher risk of heart disease and diabetes, which are the leading causes of death in women. So women avoid estrogen to prevent cancer and increase their risk of dying from everything else. And this is usually where the fear spikes. Because as soon as we talk about using enough estradiol, women immediately think, what about breast cancer? What about safety? What about prescribing myself long term? That's not irrational. That's responsible, which is exactly why progesterone matters and why I created something called the Progesterone Protection Protocol. It walks you through why progesterone is not optional for protection, how it balances estrogen at the tissue level, and how it supports sleep, mood, breast tissue, and nervous system stability. Not as an add on, as a counterbalance, because estrogen without progesterone is incomplete care. And progesterone isn't about lowering estrogen, it's about protecting the system while estrogen does its job. If safety is what's holding you back from getting adequate hormone support, the Progesterone Protection Protocol is linked below. Now, let's finish this thought because the real risk isn't appropriate hormone support, it's underdosing out of fear in calling that prevention. That's not prevention, that's misplaced fear. Let's reset this conversation. The goal of hormone therapy is not lowest dose possible. The goal is effective dose that restores function, and estradiol should change lab markers. It should change metabolism. It should change disease trajectory, change how the body behaves. If it doesn't do that, the dose isn't therapeutic. If this helped you rethink what you've been told, please subscribe. Because cautious medicine that ignores physiology isn't cautious at all. In the next video on the screen, I'll explain why doctors still fear oral estradiol and what that data actually shows about safety, blood clots, and heart disease.